What's going on, guys? It is DigiWatch TCG coming to you with a new deck profile for BT9 format. Now, as I said before, I'm going to be setting up the decks that I just can update first with the BT9 support, and then I will probably be going into my more competitive decks. This one is not necessarily one of my competitive decks, but we'll see. We did just get some hits on the ban list to yellow and blue hybrid. And I wonder to see if they're actually going to last and if it's going to change our meta a little bit. But this is one of my favorite archetypes, definitely BlackWarGreymon, and I'm hoping to give you some really good advice or choices for how to build the deck. Now, I will be doing probably this version online right now, but I will be giving an update, probably either like a live, like in hand profile, or maybe just use this and show you an update there. But with that said, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below. So, first off, we're going to look at the eggs here, and the one thing I definitely want to change out of the eggs from previously is actually take the Toromons down to 1. So we're going to bring this down to 1 really quick, and then we're going to actually put the Goremons to 4, and I'll explain why in a second. So first off, again, as BT8 kind of told us, this doesn't have a lot of draw power. It does have some searchability, but definitely not a lot of draw power. And so because a lot of our cards are 3000 DP or less, sorry, not 6,000 DP or less, it makes sense to play more of the Goemon, so you always will get that draw, rather than play the Koromon that just gets you if you have a Greymon in its name attack. So I do think that this is the right build right now with this, and we'll see if that is how I want to continue, but definitely what I'm looking for right now. Now, going into our rookies, we are playing 13 rookies total, I think. Yeah, total 13. And I will say the difference between the BT8 meta and the BT9 was that always trying to figure out what the right count was, because this deck definitely still does brick a little bit. And I do like the fact that with Agumon over here, we have a lot more level 4s that are black or dual color, so you can digivolve this without worrying about bricking and just putting this in raising and just getting the extra draw. You may not want to, because looking at the top 4, you still have a really good ratio of being able to pull Greymons and Dragonkin cards from the top 4 of your deck, but I think it's a little bit better than the BT5 Agumon that only gets you an Omnimon and a Greymon in its name, and we are not playing Omnimon in this build at the moment, so I do think that this is the correct card and the correct ratio, putting it at 4. So that is for Agumon. Now, our newest card, first card addition, is going to be Tapirmon, and we do play so many dual colors that it would not make sense not to play this card in here. And I may still fiddle with the ratios, but I do think Tapirmon at 2 will be a good start to see how this deck does. And all turns, it gives your Digimon with 2 or more colors 1000 additional DP. Why is this important? Because this works for pretty much everything up to your mega levels, and there are some really good blockers in down here that actually are going to need the extra 1000, at least how I build it. So then the next card over here is the Agumon X Antibody. Now, this is one of the X Antibody support cards that can digivolve from any Agumon. Keep in mind, it's 0 from Agumon. It's not color specific. So you can digivolve on any Agumon, and the most cards we are playing in our rookie lineup are Agumon. So getting an extra draw, plus being able to look at the top 3, get an X Antibody card and one with Greymon or Omnimon in its name is very powerful. Being able to hard play this card is also very good. So I do definitely think Agumon X Antibody at 3 is a very good card in this deck. And again, it works really well with the Agumon and our other Agumon, which I'm going to talk about in a sec. But just being able to get your pieces together after maybe even hard playing the Agumon, or maybe Nokia, which is, spoiler, going to be in this deck. You play the Agumon from Nokia, and then you digivolve right on top of it with the X Antibody, get you your extra pieces, and then you continue to build. Going into our last level 3, we are playing 4 copies of Agumon. Now, I do like the 4 promo Agumon, but I do know that you could potentially go into your other one that just gives your Digimon, it says give your Digimon 1000 DP, so that could potentially be another choice, but just being able to build up your stack and give it additional DP points is just very powerful. And also, because we're not playing in our level 4s and 5s really anything that, well, we're cutting a lot of the Greymons, this one is a little less relevant, so this might change to the other one. I think the promo Agumon was really good. Going into our level 4s, as you can see, we've cut a lot of the Greymons, and I might end up putting one or two of the other Greymons back, depending on kind of what the meta shapes up to be. But I'm playing right now 4 copies of the Black BlackWarGreymon. You can digivolve onto anything here, like I said before, and just being able to give your red Digimon blocker is just very, very powerful. I do think that this is the right way, the right ratio of playing with this deck, and just being able to search this Greymon, give it blocker. This is a bit more control-y. And again, how it shapes up in the meta, I might change out cards to make it more aggressive, but I do think right now I'm more of a control player. I do like this. As I said before, more control. I think blockers are going to be coming back in this meta, so Monochromon is a really good card that can digivolve from black or red, and it is blocker. And now when attacking, you still can attack with it, which is kind of cool, because so you could attack for game possibly, but you do lose 3 memory with it, which is kind of a heavy cost. But we're playing it for 5 right out of your hand sometimes when 6000 DP is really powerful. Now, additionally, this is why I was saying Tapirmon is really good in this deck. Tapirmon gives your dual color Digimon 1000 extra DP during all turns as an inherited. So if you digivolve on top of here, it's 7000 DP on all turns. And why is this important? Because there are cards that exist out there that really have a limit of 6000 DP, like Crimson Blaze, just being able to board wipe. And if you have this on the field, your opponent can attack, play that card, and this would still be on the field. So that is part of the reason of having this at least at 2 right now. I don't think I would increase it. If anything, I would decrease it if I figure out some other cards to make it more consistent. Now, I think the most important card is going to be this new one. Now, this is a promo card, so it's going to be your box topper, and I think you get 1 or 2, I'm not certain, per pack. So you may end up pulling this, and I would love to get this very early on just to have my play set of them. So this is really one of the only ones I will need a play set of, and I think you do sometimes need the... you could play the other MetalGreymon, I think, in there. I'm not 100% certain, but this is the one that actually matters, in my opinion, more than most of the other level 4s. And the reason for that is for its ability, first off, to be 7000 DP from Tapirmon, as I said before, but being able to digivolve into your level 5s, which both are dual color, spoiler alert, for a reduced cost of 2, that is very, very strong. That means that you can keep it your turn if you have your memory tamer set, or if your opponent at least leaves you at 2. So they would potentially have to leave you at 1 for not to do anything on your turn. Now 3 is a little bit of a heavy cost to digivolve, but I do think that if you put this in raising and then you raise it up and digivolve into your level 5, it really does help out just a lot, and I think it builds up the consistency of the deck. And even if you're just going to swing with it, again, having Tapirmon underneath it is just a super powerful card. Just being able to have it 7000 right there. But that is also why, by the way, I mentioned the Agumon over here is not as relevant as it was before, because we are cutting down on the Greymons. Now, for our, also, by the way, I forgot to go over the Deltamon here. So this is a not once per turn, keep in mind. So if you go into your BlackWarGreymon at the top and swing over to a Digimon, you can also delete 3000 DP Digimon multiple times, which is pretty cool if they have like memory tamer, memory blockers, or reduction blockers, or whatever you're going to do. You also have, so the last level 4 is the Greymon X Antibody. Now this is probably the first card I would consider cutting out of this deck, only because I am only playing one other copy of Greymon, and even though this can technically digivolve onto about half of our rookies, this is the card I worry about the most, not being able to well, I guess kind of bricking you early. But, it is a pretty good card if you do pull it off, and that's why it's only at 2 copies, is because you can digivolve onto a Greymon, and then if your higher ups, like your blues, sorry, not your blues, your 5s and your 6s are deleted or tried to be deleted by a card effect, you can take this one as well as your Greymon out of there, or whatever else you have on there, and basically you would be able to avoid that deletion. So I do think it's kind of relevant, but we'll see. I think that between the Greymon X Antibody and the Monochromon, those two are probably the ones I worry about the most, and that would be the 2 that I would consider dropping or trying to find replacements for the deck. Now, going into our level 5 and 6 lineup, we do have 4 copies of the MetalGreymon, as well as 4 copies of Megadramon, and just being able to just control and wipe your opponent's board. It's super powerful. If you go into MetalGreymon, first off, they again get everything that's underneath them. Additionally, if you have the Deltamon, both of these guys can digivolve for 2 cost, which is so much more powerful and more consistent to not pass over to your opponent's turn and go right into your level 6 if possible. And so we have our new Megadramon, and basically you digivolve, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost, or Tamer with a play cost of 3 or less, and then it has basically the same effect when attacking with level 6 or higher if it has Dragonkin, which our 6s have Dragonkin in. So that is part why we're playing it. Now, I might cut this down to 3 potentially, even though it's really good. I'm not sure how many level 3 Digimon and Tamers are going to be played in this format. And if it looks like that's very little small amounts, I might decide to play at least 1 Kimeramon or maybe 2 Kimeramon in instead to make it a little bit more consistent. As our level 6s, we definitely want to play 4 copies of the BlackWarGreymon, just being able to control your board, delete stuff off it, attack multiple times, block multiple times if you have the Greymon underneath it, is just super powerful in my opinion. And again, it's gaining so much ability through having the Deltamon and the Megadramon underneath it of when attacking, being able to delete stuff, whether it's a Tamer or a Digimon for play cost or for actual like 2000 DPs. Again, we have Gaiomon, which is our new card. This is the Alt Art, which I'm trying to get 3 copies of, definitely. You can digivolve for 2 into BlackWarGreymon, and it's also considered Greymon in its name. If it has security attack +1 and reboot, so that's automatic, by the way. That's not like a 1 turn. You'll always have 2 security checks and a reboot on this thing. So it's going to be super hard to kill. Additionally, you have, if this Digimon has a black Digivolution source, you can digivolve 1, and then it gets Blitz on attack. It is Dragonkin and X Antibody, which you're able to search, and it's dual color, and even though its Digivolution cost is 5, the idea is that you keep this in your hand after you control the board and delete a lot of their stuff with BlackWarGreymon. So I do like that. I absolutely love it. I really, really love this card. I really want it to be good, and I might consider even bumping this up to 4, but I just have the fear of bricking a lot in this deck, and I think that this deck does search enough to get you your pieces, so it shouldn't never be a problem. Going on to our options, this is going to possibly change depending on what the meta looks like. I might even put I was playing Breath of the Gods in BT8, and I might put that back in instead of Kongou, but I'll explain why. So Kongou has the ability of stopping your opponent from attacking you for a play cost of 7 or less, and both, if the opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less attacks the player, they can't attack you, and then for cards can't be added to the security stack by opponent's effects. So basically, this shuts down Chaos Degrade. It shuts down cards that are recovery based, and like I said, because Yellow Hybrid did just get a hit to their decks, I'm really not sure how relevant this card is going to be. I mean, I'm sure that it is relevant and it's a really good effect, but I'm also considering playing Breath of the Gods just for if you draw it, you can play it as a protection card from being bounced, from being able to get DP reduced. It still can get deleted, but again, like, just if you have the Greymon X Antibody underneath as a specific stack, as well as avoiding getting deleted, I think it's just really powerful. So I'm kind of mixed feelings about having the Kongou in here right now. I do like a little bit of security. Again, it's more of a control build. So that's what I'm planning for. The other option is Red Memory Boost, just build for consistency and memory gain. And then I'll talk about the Tamers real quick. So we have Hiro here. I think that this... Honestly, you're going to never have a problem being able to get higher up against a big Digimon, unless it's like the Alphamon, or you can. And honestly, I think that having Hiro might be the only, it might be one of the cards you may want to consider switching out for other cards. People play Marcus, people play, what else? Tai to give it extra security checks, and that might be what you want if you want to make it a little more aggressive. But keep in mind that D-Reaper is still around right now and was not touched on the ban list, and so you may see more people play D-Reaper, and being able to swing Mother is actually pretty relevant. I played a guy and basically swung over his Mother, and Mother Deep Reaper, and basically was able to delete it. Additionally, we are playing Nokia here. That you get an Agumon from your hand. Keep in mind, it's an Agumon or a Gabumon. That's not an Agumon in its name. So unfortunately, you cannot get out the Agumon X Antibody, but you do have at least 8 targets to play it out, and you also have just being able to reduce the cost if you Digivolve into your BlackWarGreymon in its name. Now, Nokia, I might actually reduce a little bit and put Maki in, because Maki has the same kind of effect, and I'll show you what it is. Basically, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. So first off, it's a searcher, which is really good. It is a 3-cost searcher. Add a Tapirmon, which we are playing 2 of, and keep in mind that's one 2-color card with black among them to your hand. So this is really good because a lot of our cards are dual color, and it just builds up a consistency. Additionally, on your turn, when your Digimon would Digivolve in Digimon that has 2 or more colors, including black, you can suspend this suspend this Tamer to reduce the memory cost by 1. So even though we aren't playing as many of the Agumons, I think that honestly Maki might actually be a better choice than the Nokia. So I actually think that at the moment I'm probably going to play 2 copies of Nokia and bump the Maki up to 3. And that's going to be my deck profile right now. Now, other cards people might want to consider playing are A Delicate Plan. This is a very option-heavy format as well. Just being able to delete stuff. It does work against security control. It is a 1-cost option, so that also could be something you take out, like the Kongou for. This is your flex spot, basically. However you want to build this up. You could play Crimson Blaze. You could play Gaia Force. You could play Gaia Force Zero. You could play Dark Gaia Force. There's so many Gaia Forces out there now. But for 2 cost, I think it's good. That's why I want to be very resourceful with the memory cost here. But playing A Delicate Plan, you can give Gaiomon a extra ability of being able to swing and not activate anything with a option in its security, and you can even have the tie in play as an alternate tamer, so you can do multiple checks, not trigger anything unless you swing over something that is not strong enough. And keep in mind, this is Greymon, so it does work with cards like the Agumon here to give it additional DP, so you can get this up to 15 immediately, and then you could tap the Hiro to give it a 17 and swing over a lot of your opponent's stuff. Additionally, if you have like the MetalGreymon underneath. So right now, this is the build. Other things you could, like I said, this is your flex spot. You do whatever you want with it. I think you could also play more copies of Red Memory Boost for more consistency and memory gain. You can work on your level 4s as well, but I do think the rookie lineup is actually perfect as is. And that is my build right now. I hope this helps people who are looking to build this deck. I really do love this deck. I want it to succeed, and I definitely am looking to get the alternate arts of the Gaiomon. But let me know your thoughts on the deck and what you would like to see. If you have any recommendations, please leave them below. Please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below on what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.